Hi guys, welcome. I'm Ivory and joining me is
Miley.
And welcome to the We're Literally Just a Girl podcast. So this is our first podcast ever. So how are you feeling?
I'm ready to yap.
You ready to yap?
Yes.
Me too. I don't know, like, this is exciting, but it's also kind of scary because it feels like there should be a certain way to do this, but we're literally just having a conversation and you guys are just going to listen to it.
Like, every girl has had probably the same conversations that we're about to have.
Yeah, I know, but, like, for some reason it feels like this needs to, like, go a certain way, but it really doesn't.
It's kind of gonna just evolve.
So we have a lot of different topics here, things that we think a lot of teenage girls have gone through or want to talk about, want to get advice on, and we're no professionals, but we have gone through a lot. We are definitely experienced a lot of these. The thing between me and Miley is, like, we're so much alike, but we are also so different because Miley, she's an academic, I'm gonna toot her horn real quick. She's an academic weapon. She is in a loving relationship. She has but she has great friends. Like, she's amazing at her sport. She's so athletic.
Stop.
Me, on the other hand, which being single is not a bad thing at all.
No.
But I have been single for over a year. Definitely had some situationships. I've definitely had some friendship problems, and, like, we're here to get both sides of a story from everyone.
Yes.
So looking through our ideas, which one do you want to start with? Like, do you think we should talk about the most? I want to talk about, does true love exist, and do you believe in soulmates?
Okay.
Do you think true love exists, and do you believe in soulmates?
I do think true love exists, and soulmates exist, but I honestly think, like, it can be, it's not like how you think it is in, like, movies. It's like who you make it to be, because you know what I mean?
I totally agree. Like, I was just about to think that when you hear the word
I don't think it's one person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you hear the word soulmate, you're, like, expected to hear some crazy love story.
Yeah.
Like, some spectacular Disney movie love story, and I don't think it's that way. Like, my parents, they've been high school sweethearts. They've been married forever, and they literally met in high school. Like, that, to some, that might seem like a Disney movie story. To others, that's just a boring story about how they fell in love.
Right,
So, like,
and, like, soulmates can be how you work through things and stuff. It doesn't have to be a perfect love story, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, like, that's, like, another thing that I always talk about is, like, people get a crush and it to be, like, 100% all the time, and, like, when you guys start talking, like, it's gonna be 100% all the time, or you're dating. It's not that way. Like, you can't just wake up and you might always be in love with that person, but you're gonna go through fights, you're gonna go through trials. Like, to love someone and to make true love exist, you have to wake up every day and choose that person.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you have to make it work. Like, it's not just gonna be, like, easy 100% of the time. Like, mind you, it shouldn't be, like, fighting all the time, but it's just how you work through it.
I mean, like, okay, am I allowed to name drop your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
You and Carson. I don't think you guys. Would you say you're still in the honeymoon phase, or would you? Because how long have you guys been dating?
Almost 2 months, but we've been talking since December, so it's been, like, kind of a while.
Yeah.
We're kind of, like, out of the honeymoon phase, but, like, we still haven't argued yet, which I feel like it's gonna be coming soon.
Yeah.
Probably.
And, like, that's the thing. Like, arguing can be a good thing or bad thing. Also.
It depends on the man
and the situation. And I think, like, but when you get to the arguing phase, like, there's gonna be times where you're gonna be like, that's okay. This topic in itself is so many things, but that's what also, like, people, especially, like, high school and what other people tell you really blurs everyone's idea of what a relationship should be, how it should be. Like, someone would be like, you're fighting all the time, break up. Or someone's like, you got into this one argument, break up. But then other people will be like, don't break up, like, just work through it. Like, it's okay that it's okay that he's telling you this. It's okay that you guys are fighting like this. And I don't agree with that either. Like, it really depends on the person and on what you
I agree. Like, honestly, one of the main things I think is getting your friends involved and, like, seeing how they view it, because I think that they never know how it actually is. Like, no matter how much you tell them, it's how you feel and how that you're, like, boyfriend.
Yeah, because that's what I've always thought about is, like, as being, like, single for a long time, like, I'm always, like, feel like I'm being told how everything should go.
Yeah.
Especially, like I said, as a teenage girl, like, I feel like we're told how your relationship should be. You shouldn't be fighting, or you should be fighting. You shouldn't hang out all the time, or you should hang out all the time. You should stay single, or you shouldn't stay single. Every day, we are being told two different things from every single person.
Yeah, and I think there is honestly no, like, perfect how it should go in a relationship. I think it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I agree. But there was, like,
honestly,
something.
I think soulmates exist more even in friends. Like,
yeah, me too.
I don't even think it's just, like, love interest, because, like, I don't know.
Well, this is when we should bring up the invisible string theory. Taylor Swift, we were both huge Swifties, but I am a prime example of an invisible string theory because I have gone to a different school. We're not going to say where in case any creeps are watching this, but I have gone to a different school. We are sophomores in high school, about to be juniors, and I went up until my sophomore year of high school. From my 4th grade year, I went to a different high school. I had a great time, and then my freshman year, everything crashed and burned, and I got bullied, like, really badly. But when me, Miley, and our friend group, when we were, like, in 7th grade, was that 7th grade?
6th.
We all went to a birthday party together. 2 different schools,
Yes.
2 different friend groups, ended up at a same birthday party together.
You knew this girl, and I also knew the girl through soccer, but you knew her through school. So
Yeah.
that's why we were at the same place.
So we were at the same place, and then that birthday party, none of us really talked. Like, we had each other, like, on social media, and we're, like, mutuals and stuff. But then I show up here at this school that I'm currently at on the first day of school, and everyone's there.
Guess who's sitting at the first hour?
Yeah.
Sitting at the science table alone.
I walk up, I'm like, can I sit here? And she's like, yeah. And that is, everyone talks about invisible strings for boyfriends, but that's the most invisible string story you'll hear.
Because it's so weird. You literally lived in Montrose, but I never seen you once throughout at a store or anything.
Yeah.
Like, outside.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
I know. We took it, okay, so we do live in a small town. Like, our school altogether has like 400 kids. Our class is 92 kids. And we are one of the bigger
Yeah.
classes. So there's like no one in our school, no one in our town. And there's one grocery store in our town, like one main grocery store. And then you have like, Dollar General because this is the Midwest and stuff like that. But I never once saw any of them at the grocery store. Like, our town has a fair that everyone goes to.
It's
Didn't
so weird.
see
I
them.
never seen you there.
Didn't see them there. I go to parks. I never saw them at park. Even like outside of our town, like we never saw each other at Walmart or anything like that. And then I show up at school and all of the same girls are here. And you guys, like, it was like a little bit of a rough start at the beginning, not with you guys, but like just like other friends that I had.
Finding the right people.
But like, I made it back into the group, and that's what we think. Like, we have a photo together from that 7th grade birthday party that like I'm waiting to recreate when because like when everyone's back together, minus the girls from my old school. But that is the most invisible string theory, and I like think that there is soulmates and friends. My best friend that still goes to my old school, she is literally my twin flame.
Yeah. It's so weird that, like, people can be right in front of you and you, like, don't even realize the significance that they're going to have in your life later. Like, it makes me think, like, who's in front of me right now?
Yeah.
That I, like, that could be, like, a big part of my life later, which is so weird.
That's what I also want to say. Because a lot of times in schools, we cut ourselves off to people because we don't think that it would, like, work. Especially, I think, with like the toxicity of high school, like we see like someone that's not like classified as like normal and we close ourselves off to them, but that person could actually be your best friend,
which is so weird because if people don't express, like, if you're not an outgoing personality, I feel like in high school you don't really get the same chance to get like as many friends as like others, which you could have like the exact same interests and stuff.
That's why like the best advice you can have is be nice to everyone, be open to everyone, and always give people chance. Obviously, if someone disrespects you, I say cut them off. I cut people off all the time. But be open to people. Like, you might sit there and be like, I have this friend group, but they don't treat me well, but I'm scared. Like, I don't want to be alone. Like, there's no one else in this school that I'm friends with. Make new friends.
Yeah.
There are so many people that you are cut off to that you don't think you get along with, but you will.
You never know, like, who you're gonna see later in life. Like, what if that's like your coworker or something, like, and you just never knew that you could have been friends like all this time.
And I agree with that with relationships also. Like, a lot of times you close yourself off to people. You'll be sitting in class and let's just say you look at a random boy or girl and you're like, no, like, that could never be my boyfriend or girlfriend. Don't close yourself off to people. No. Don't ever set it straight in your mind that person is immediate no. Obviously, if they're a huge red flag, immediate no. But like, don't just like say like, no, I can never talk to that person. I can never like be friends with that person, because you could.
Especially in a small school, I think there's a lot of
existing friend groups
and like knowledge of people that sometimes like isn't true and stuff, which is like, you can get fed all the wrong information about people. So I think you just have to kind of like get to know yourself.
And that's also like, don't let other people tell you who a person is.
I agree.
Test people out for yourself. If you see someone and someone's like, oh, they're so crappy, they're so mean, maybe listen to them. But if they're like, that person's so weird, or if like you hear like certain words are red flags. Like, certain words for people are red flags. Like, they're mean, they talk bad about everyone. That's a red flag. But if someone is like saying that person's so weird or that person's so quiet, don't take that as a red flag. Take that as maybe a green flag, because I get labeled as weird, but I just think I'm hilarious.
Yeah, especially if they don't even have like evidence. Like, I feel like some people just call people weird if they don't even know them.
Yeah.
Which is like...
And that's like one of our questions is, do you think pretty privilege exists? And I think that leads into it.
Yeah, I agree.
People who are pretty are labeled as normal, and people who aren't society's acceptable like looks are labeled as weird.
Oh, I 100% think pretty privilege exists.
Yeah. And I think it exists in so many different like eras, especially like in this class that we're filming this in, like in we're in a digital media class, right? Digital media, news, and broadcasting. I think that I have pretty privilege in this class, and I know it because people look at me and they don't, like, I'll get awards for this class. Like, I do really good in this class. It's what I want to go into my profession. But they don't look at me and they'll be like, oh, you're so talented. They look at me and they say, you have the looks for this profession.
Yeah, which it's like an advantage, but at the same time, you kind of just want people to see you for like your skill.
It is an advantage, and I'm happy that I have like the looks for it because I will go far. But it's like they're totally discarding like all the hard work I put into here, all the time, like all the days I spent like after school, all the times I like spend editing and writing stuff. Like, you're totally discarding that just because you think I have the looks for it.
If a man was like got the same award as you, they would be told they were smart and like how much work they put into it and how talented they are.
And that's like, but like I said, there's so many levels to pretty privilege. Like,
sometimes it's like good and sometimes it's bad though, because like which this also leads into me, like, I feel like when girls are smart at school, it's kind of just like, I don't know, this is gonna be a kind of different topic.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like it's expected, but like if a boy is smart, it's like, oh, like,
and
it's normal.
That's literally on our list is double standards. Yeah. And that is, don't get us started on double standards. No. There is so many in high school alone. We experience every day with Taylor Swift.
Oh.
We want to talk about Taylor Swift, like, as friends. We want to sit there at our table and talk about Taylor Swift. We can't. We get made fun of.
Yeah.
We get literally harassed because of this. But they sit there and they talk about football or how much they weigh, which I think that is so weird. The guys in our grade are obsessed with weight. Not like girls' weight, with their own weight. And not in like a healthy way either.
No.
They're like, I weigh 120. Last year I weighed 130, and they'll be like, oh, bulking. But then they'll look at each other and someone's walking and they'll be like, fee by faux bomb. Like, it's not okay. Like, they're all joking and they all do it to each other, but like they are so obsessed with weight. It's weird. But double standards, pretty privilege, like all of these things go together.
Yeah.
Double standards. Oh, okay. Double standards also go with relationships, because you see a girl or you see two people who are single. You have a guy that's single and you have a girl that's single. The guy texts multiple girls, is like hanging out with girls, like, and they're like, oh, like, yeah, that's fine. A girl literally talks to, like, not even talking, texting two different guys at one time. A bop, a hoe, a whore, like, all of them. And it makes me so mad. Like, a girl cannot look at a guy without getting called a whore, but a guy can literally go and like sleep with 5 different women and it's fine.
Boys get like preached for talking to multiple girls. Like, it's like a good thing. Like, they get seen as like, oh, like, you must be attractive or have like riz, like, you know what I mean? But if it's a girl, it's like, you're ashamed. Like, you should be ashamed of that.
And that also, like, as a single woman, I'm a friendly person. I don't like these people like that, but I will go and I'll talk to guys. I'll joke around with guys. And it might, like, I obviously don't have the intentions of dating them, but I'm constantly labeled as like, oh, she's a bop.
I think that goes with double standards. Like, I feel like a guy can be outgoing, but a girl is just like, if she's outgoing, then it's seen as like a bop.
Yeah. Or like I always talk about this too, right? I have ADHD. You have a guy with ADHD, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Me, it's fake, it's annoying, she's loud, like, she's looking for attention, she's an attention whore. A guy, it's just like, oh, he's funny. Like,
it's like normal in schools, at least. Especially
with that too.
That goes with the thing of like girls being, I feel like they can't even be like super interested in the topic, like, because then it's labeled as like, oh, you're weird, like if you're like a fangirl or something, but they can be a fan of a sports team.
Yeah. And the best advice we can give for any of this is just don't care. Don't care what other people say.
They get so mad if you don't care.
Yeah, that too. But like, don't listen to what other people say about other people. Make your opinions for yourself, and don't care what people say about you. Someone is always going to be hating. As a very Christian girl, I always like to say, God was literally perfect, and they hated him and killed him. So you can never be God, but like, they literally hated someone who was the definition of perfect. Yeah. Don't care what people say.
You can't do anything right to everyone.
If you want to jump on a table and dance, and other people are like, wow, she's so, like, what is she doing? If it brings you joy, do it. If talking to multiple guys at one time, obviously don't hurt them and don't purposely hurt people, but if that brings you joy, do it.
If you're just outgoing and want to talk to people and have a good time, like good friendships, do it. Yeah.
Do what makes you happy and don't care. You have 4 years in high school. It can either be miserable for you or it can be enjoyable for you. You have to learn to not care. And that is the hardest thing to do, is to learn to not care. But it's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
People are always going to talk about you. People are always going to like hate you. And that also brings me to another thing. if someone is someone who hates you and everything you do, and you don't talk about them, you don't interact with them, it shows more about their character than it does you.
Oh, yeah.
And our friend group experiences that every day, because there is another friend group in our grade who we don't talk about, we don't look at, we don't interact with, and they can never not talk about us.
And it just shows, like, I mean, I kind of hate when people say this, but, like, insecurities. Like,
Yeah.
if you're spending all your time thinking about someone else and hating on them, then I think you just have to work on yourself.
Yeah, you're never going to be, okay, the best and also good advice, you're never going to be happy if you were living in someone else's life. If you are obsessed with someone else and what they're doing, you're never going to be happy. You're always going to be worried, because that also, if you're worried about what other people are doing, then you're too worried about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're always thinking, this person's going to say that, or, wow, look at what that girl did, both of those are just creating an insecurity in yourself and an insecurity in other people. Be a nice person. Don't talk about people, and don't care what other people think, because literally, we could all die tomorrow, and you're not going to want to die being like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have, like, let myself be myself.
Yeah. I think, like, every girl in high school has to go through the experience of, like, I feel like everyone has, like, just deciding not to care, because it's, like, so freeing and everything.
And that's the best thing you can do, is just not care. Because look at all of these guys. They, like, I think in every school, all the girls, like, in a weird way, we're jealous of them. Because we sit there and we watch them not care, be themselves, have friends, not get into friendship fights, and they are so free. Literally just
do what you want.
Do what you want.
Be friends with who you want.
Yeah, be free. And it's what we're going to tell you. Okay. This one, honestly, let's see. Let's talk about, does peer pressure exist, and what does it look like in girls? Because we talk about peer pressure all the time, but what does it look like in girls?
I honestly think we kind of talked about this earlier, like, just in relationships a lot. I think it happens a lot. Like, it's more about the standards of, like, the relationships, though.
Yeah.
Like, what you should be doing, but I honestly think it's just personal, who you should, like, how you should do things.
I think peer pressure in girls can also look like if you're in a friend group and they are like, you have to be held up to their standards. Like TikTok Riz Party group leader, but you have to be held up to that you would know a lot about this. I would know a lot about the TikTok Riz Party leader, guys.
Oh, I was talking about the friend group.
Oh, the friend group thing too. But you need to, like, other people, like, I feel like that's peer pressure. Like, girls being like, you need to, like, they don't say it, but it's a feeling. I feel like all girls feel it, like, I'm not good enough, not for a guy, but for my friends. At least I feel that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I got bullied, but, like, I always feel like I'm not good enough for my friends. Like, I'm always sitting there, and I know I say I don't care, but, like, I am, one second, there's a hair on the mic. I am always thinking, like, okay, this is, like, a thing. Like, I don't know if this is what other people think. I don't care because I don't care enough to stop being who I am or being stupid. But I care enough. I care enough that I'm thinking about it constantly. I'm always thinking, like, I'm not good enough. Like, my friends are all looking at me like, wow, she's the stupidest person I've ever met. Like, I'm always thinking that. And I feel like peer pressure is, like, girls would be like, you're peer pressured into being someone you're not to fit other people's standards. I feel like that's something people don't talk about, but that's the main cause of peer pressure in girls, is being peer pressured into being someone you're not to fit other people's standards. It's not like, wow, drink this or smoke this. Because if you're a strong person, you're not going to do that.
That's like a high school movie kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's not really
but
like
peer
that.
pressure actually looks like, oh, that girl, like, wore that. I feel like if I don't wear this, I'm not going to fit in. Or that girl acts like this. If I don't do that, I'm not going to fit in. Or that girl talks to that guy. If I don't do that, I'm not going to fit in. Peer pressure around us is fitting into who we think other people want us to be.
And I think it's honestly so weird, like, peer pressure, like, on social media and stuff. Like, there's so many, like, standards of, like, oh, you shouldn't post this, and, like, don't post that, and, like, or it's weird to post that, because I think girls are so weird about that sometimes.
Yeah. And I like to say to people all the time, gossip is a huge thing, right? But if you don't ever lie, I don't want anyone listening to this to be like, I don't gossip. I don't, like, hate on people, because this is what I think. I'm like, if I hear an information about someone, like, let's say, like, someone in another grade did something scandalous, I don't actually care at all when they did that. I'm going to talk about it probably because it's interesting, but I'm not sitting here, like, actually judging them as a person, like, what? Like, why would that person ever do that? I'm literally just like, guess what that person did.
Like, yeah.
So
doesn't
don't
affect me.
Ever think, like, if you're like, that person's talking about me, you're like, okay, and you probably would talk about them too.
Yeah, like,
if you heard that about someone else, you would say it too, whether it's true or not. Like, everyone's always going to be talking about someone, and it's not that deep. Like, if someone's spreading a rumor about you, you're like, well, that person got a rumor spread about them last week and they're fine. I didn't even believe it.
Yeah.
So really, like, obviously to us, it feels like the end of the world when someone's talking about you or when something gets spread around, but things get spread around all the time. There's probably things, like, in our school, not as much because nothing ever happens, but, like, in big schools, there's probably 20 different things that happened in your school year that you don't even remember about.
Yeah.
But it was the main topic of that week.
You have to, like, put yourself in other people's shoes and, like, your own shoes. Like, if you heard something, you don't even remember it the next day.
Yeah. And even the things I do remember, like the huge scandal of the 2 people in the janitor's closet this year, that scandal, I think about that, but I don't actually care. Like, I'm not like...
See, I already forgot about that.
See,
You
I'm
just
not
mentioned it to me now.
I'm not sitting here and being like, oh my gosh, that person's so disgusting. I'm sitting here and
No,
I'm just like...
I'm thinking of more of as an event, not
Yes.
of the people.
Yeah. Like, so if someone's talking about you, it's really, like, not that deep.
No.
You talk about other people more than you realize, and you're never, like, you're not actually... And if you
Yeah.
are sitting there actually being like, what is wrong with that person? You're the problem.
Yeah, you are the problem.
Yeah.
Don't linger on it. Just...
Yeah. Some of these are like
Alrighty.
what we're talking about, and some of them are like, I have one that says like how to figure out what look good on your body type and how to make yourself look the best.
Still trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah. I think watch TikToks. Go on TikTok,
Yeah.
search up your body type and search up style. That's the best thing you can do is go see what other people wear. And like if you have like a wide rib cage, don't wear clothes that like people, not in like a mean way, but like someone who has like an hourglass figure, don't wear the same type of clothes they're wearing.
Yeah, and like honestly, the best thing is just look on TikTok, like look up your body type and do those suggestions. Also,
Yeah.
just experiment.
I think if you have an hourglass figure, wear low-waisted pants and tight shirt. That's what I have more of an hourglass figure, and that's what I wear most of the time is low-waisted pants and tight
Yeah,
shirts.
it really makes like it snatches you.
Yeah. If you have more of a boxy, wear high-waisted things
High-waisted,
and like
shorter-
tight tank tops.
Yeah, shorter, tight tank tops.
Or flowy shirts.
And if you have like broader shoulders, there's like, don't wear things that like accentuate
Yeah.
your shoulders. But like, I'm trying to think of what kind of shirts. I forgot.
Talk about okay, we've already on our boys list we have toxic masculinity. We already kind of talked about that. Like
Yeah, that was kind of double standards.
Double standards. Toxic masculinity is, at the end of the day, toxic masculinity is a man is insecure. And all of these boys in our school, like in every school.
They'll never admit it though.
No. And the boys in your school are trying to be men when their brain is not
boy.
developed enough to be a man. Their brain is at the level where they're a boy.
I feel like girls get painted as being the most insecure, but honestly, men are so insecure of themselves and in relationships, like everything.
We see it in our school.
Oh,
All
yeah.
of these guys, they painted off as
see right
joking.
through it.
There's this one guy who we've both had a situationship. We both had
Oh my
situationships
god.
with.
Do we? Yeah.
He-
This man.
He's literally like, this man is not okay. But there's like, I don't know. Did you watch the one show that was like My Life with the Walter Boys?
No.
Okay, well, in that show, like, you're okay. This girl, like, her family dies, and she has to go move. She lives in New York. She has to go move to like Idaho or something to go live with her mom's best friend, and that family like fosters a bunch of people. So there's a bunch of different boys in that household, right? Every girl's dream. Well, not that your family dies and you have to move, but like every girl's dream that you have to like go move into a house with a bunch of guys. Anyways, there's this one guy, the oldest kid in the house, and his name's Cole, and everyone says he has the Cole effect, that like
I see where you're going with this.
he has the Cole effect, that girls, like, women just want to be with him, like, even if he treats them bad, like, there's this effect about him that like you can't get over.
And he's not even like there's not many redeeming qualities.
he doesn't have that many good qualities at all. That is,
Every girl I feel like goes through one of these men.
and that's the man that we went through. We're not
Yeah.
going to drop names. We can call him, no, I have a bunch of nicknames for him. We're not even going to call that.
Yeah.
But the man that we went through this situation guy, he has the Cole effect about him.
I wish I could tell you how to not go through this effect, but I feel like it's like
It's a canon event.
Yeah.
Exactly. The only way to get over someone with the Cole effect is to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
Stay with them until you hate them. Stay with them until the
Yep.
effect is no longer there. The effect is not there for either of us anymore.
No, thank God.
He is a short king. What if someone listens to this and knows what we're talking about?
Oh, hi.
Whatever. Hey guys, thank you for listening to our podcast.
Everyone already knows. He's had the Cole effect on like 20,000 girls probably.
Yep.
So.
And he has no good qualities about him. We could talk about this forever. He is an example of toxic masculinity, about insecurity. He's really gonna kill us if he ever hears this. But
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Insecure. Because he goes around hating on everybody. Like, you can just tell he's projecting all that hate in his
Yes.
heart on everybody.
He's such a projector.
The second
I was
you
just
say
gonna
anything
bring
about
that
him,
up. I gotta
he gets mad, and not
Yep.
just
No.
puff a mad. He
He's
gets
like a hit a wall,
he's
angry
like,
kind of guy.
"Oh, I'm gonna kill you, mad." Like, it's bad. It's bad.
Daddy issues.
Oh,
That's all we have to say,
that-
really.
generational daddy issues is what we're gonna say. Anyways,
we could go a long time about this man.
Yeah, we could. But yeah, if you're ever looking for how to get over a guy that you know you're never gonna date, he has every red flag in the book about him.
Neither of us dated him either.
No, I didn't want to date him. You almost got into a relationship with him, but you were younger at the time.
Yeah, so
I did not want to date this man. I literally just could.
There's something, I feel like it's something about this. I feel like the guys that have the cool effect, it's the guys like you don't want fully, but it's like the fun of the experience, like not knowing which man you're gonna get that day. Yeah. Like, it's like a game.
Yep, it's literally a game.
It's a game you play every day, and it's exciting.
The best thing ever. I call him my default crush, because if I didn't have another man in my life, he was my default crush. Yeah. He was my hallway crush. Like, he was who I would get. It feels like so embarrassing, but who I would get excited about if I saw he texted me. Like,
no, I think it's the thrill of
the chase.
It's the thrill of the chase that these men really get you hooked on.
Yeah.
But the low of the low, because sometimes they do not give you the energy back.
Everyone labels this as a bad thing. Okay, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Honestly, it's a fun experience.
Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, at least you're doing this and not like going around and sleeping with 5 different men.
Let's
don't do that.
If I could give advice, I would tell you to not do that.
From our Christian standpoint, it's only going to make you hate yourself. Yeah. It's not going to fulfill you. Go to the Lord.
You're only going to regret it every time.
Yep. And I don't think you're going to care if we say this. We are both waiting till marriage.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I would recommend it.
And as someone who is, I would recommend too. As someone who is in a relationship, I don't know if he plays video games, but do you think video games like affects relationships? I feel like this is like when you're like more in like the middle school, early high school thing, and you're trying to learn a relationship. This is like something that would like relate to you.
Yeah, because it's kind of going away because like our age now that we're getting older. But I think it could definitely affect a relationship, because not the fact that they're playing video games, because they know how it makes a girl feel if you're ignoring like a girl.
Yeah.
It's more of the principle of the situation, not what it actually is.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Because when you were younger, the guys, they're addicted to it. It's like a drug. Like every free second they have, they want to play video games. And it's not, like you said, it's the principle. It's not the fact that they're playing video games. It's the fact that they purposely ignore you. They purposely choose their friends over you.
They know how it makes you feel.
Yeah. And they do it on purpose. And that's another thing. People always say, like, do you think your friend should be the most important people in your life, or do you think your boyfriend should be the most important in your life? I think it is definitely a situation, whatever one.
Yeah, I think it can be. I think it's a lot more easy to balance than people, like, make it. Because I think if you have the right friends and if you have the right boyfriend, like, they can make it easy. Like, you know what I mean? I never feel like you choose your boyfriend. You don't even ever really talk about him. At least not to me, but, like... Well, it's kind of nice because, like, because... I'm gonna get personal. We live, like, a half hour away. Like, I only see him once a week, so it's, like, he doesn't consume my life, and I like that. Because I never want to be, like, the girl that's, like... If you are, that's fine. Just constantly with her boyfriend.
Yeah. I think it's definitely matters on the person. Like, if you are younger, it's if you're in middle school, I feel like it's such a more of a bigger deal. Like, your friends will get mad at you, bigger deal. When you are older in high school, you understand. If you ever were like, I'm hanging out with him, I'm talking about him all the time, I'm so bad because I'm a very obsessive person. Mm-hmm. It's probably like something I try to work on the hardest is not being only talking about boys. If you have a friend that likes to only talk about boys, keep them, because you're gonna need that person. Because the second you get a crush, they're gonna, like, you guys are both just gonna only want to talk about boys. But I think definitely situational. Once you get older to like your junior, senior, and college years of high school, your friends understand more. Like, oh, they're hanging out with their boyfriend. That's fine.
Because let's say if you got into that situation, you would want them to like do the same.
Again, put yourself into other people's shoes, but also think about everyone's feelings. If your friends is like, I feel like you're not making time for me, make time for them.
Yeah.
Plan a certain hangout and don't like
just do it.
Yeah. Don't be like all defensive like, no, I'm like he's not all I talk about, he's not all I hang out with, like you don't understand, like I care about him. Like just be like, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's plan a day where we hang out and we don't talk about boys unless you want to.
You just gotta put it out there, because I'd be like, both sides expect one to plan the hangout, the other to plan the hangout. But if you want to, just do it. Yeah. Like there's nothing. If they say no, then fine. Yeah. Like, you know who they are.
Yeah. Exactly. And also like because you're gonna need friends and you're gonna need your boyfriend. At the end of the day, if you and your boyfriend break up, you need your friends.
Yeah. Who are you gonna go to?
Do not kick him to the curb. Do not ghost him. Because I was friends with a girl for a long time, and she has a super toxic boyfriend. They'd break up like every 2-3 business days, and she kicked me to the curb. And she only, like, the times that we would hang out is the times that they'd break up and she needed me.
Yeah.
And don't do that. Like, you don't like, she doesn't have friends anymore because she lost all of them because of him, and that's not what you need. You need to have friends, and you need to have a boyfriend, because there's things your boyfriend's gonna understand but won't understand, and there's things your friends would understand but your boyfriend wouldn't understand. You need to have a healthy balance.
You can't, I feel like you can't just cut, you definitely can't cut off all your friends for your boyfriend.
Yeah, don't do it. And think about how your friend feels. Like,
I feel like it happens because when people get in the honeymoon stage, it's like perfect and they don't think they need them. There's nothing to even complain about. Yeah. But it's once you get out of that stage where you're like, oh crap, I have no friends.
Yeah. And it's also like, in our friend group, I'm like basically the only single one.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Maybe possibly. Actually, like, you don't want to think about how that friend feels. Like, yeah, you have a boyfriend and your other friends have a boyfriend and you're gonna go hang out with them. Think about how that one friend feels. I'm saying, like,
speaking from experience,
save me, guys. Think about how that one friend feels if it's a Friday night and they're like, wow, I really want to hang out with someone, but you know they're all with their boyfriends. Yeah. I feel that all the time. I'm also scared to ask people to hang out all the time.
Just ask, as I just said before.
I feel like I'm not attacking you in any way. I feel like the last 20 times I've asked you to hang out, you have been doing something.
I haven't been, but soccer's over now, so
yeah. And then it's also like, once summer comes around, I feel like it'll be easier. Yeah. But I know that your boyfriend is reserved for the weekend, and I let you have that. I don't want to take that away. But, yeah, definitely have 50-50. And my prompts, how to tell what a guy is thinking / feeling.
Projection. Yeah.
Intuition. Trust that gut.
Oh my gosh. A girl's intuition, never wrong.
Yeah.
Never been wrong.
Not to scare you, but if you think that if you're in a relationship and you think something sketchy is going on, something sketchy is going on. But that's also like manifestation. I experience that all the time. Because I think
if you expect something to go wrong, it's going to go wrong.
Yeah. I'm a self-sabotager. The second there's a guy in my life, I'm immediately thinking like, oh my gosh, like something bad's gonna... This is also just because I've been tossed to the curb in the past, but something bad's going to happen, he's going to leave me, and then it happens, because I manifest it. Like, I'm looking for something wrong. Like you said, if you're looking for something wrong, you will find something wrong.
And, yeah, I definitely think you manifest, like, me and Carson haven't had one singular argument, and I think it's because, like, I haven't even expected to have an argument. Like, in, like, past, like, things, like, I kind of just expected it to be a day-to-day thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, yeah, like we said, intuition, trusting your gut, learn how to read people. Learn people, like...
number one skill you can have,
That's
honestly.
The best thing you can do.
But I think a lot of girls are just born with it, to be honest.
Okay, I stare at people constantly. And I do it for a reason. I'm learning people. If I'm staring at someone, I'm trying to figure out what they're thinking. Like, it's a fun game. If you're staring at someone, like, in a quiet way, if you're in a classroom, like, look around. Learn people, their cues, read facial expressions, read body posture. If you're in a car ride with a guy, learn to read his cues. Because that can also be a lifesaver.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in a car with a guy and you can tell something sketchy's up, get out. Call your friend. Call the police. Like, I don't know why we don't call the police more often.
It should be more normalized.
Yes. Like, if you feel like you're about to get kidnapped, even if it's just, like, some guy from your school, call the freaking police. I don't care. Like, save your life.
What's the police gonna do? Like, arrest you for calling the police?
Yeah. Like, what are they gonna do? Be like, oh no, you tried to save your life? Like, that's but, like, that's what I do. I just read people. Like, with our situationship, he has 20 different personalities, but I definitely had, like, 5 of those down.
Oh, yeah.
I knew how to read, like, 5 of the 20.
I feel like they try to make it seem like they're so complicated, but they're really not. Like, men are actually so simple.
Yeah, for real. Can there be a true, strong, just friendship, literally just friends, between a guy and a girl?
Okay.
I would say me and Mikey is an example, but that's not a good example.
I feel like for the girl side it is, but honestly, I've never seen a man be able to do it.
Me neither.
But, like, as a girl... I have had, like, genuinely... Well, I have...
And I think...
That's a hard, complex question. I feel like the guy always has...
This is going to sound so wrong. I think neither of the people have to be attracted to each other. Like, if you
can't be attracted to your friends, sorry.
A good friend, you need to find someone who you think is ugly.
Yes.
And be friends with
that's
them.
why men are never friends with girls that they think are ugly.
Yeah.
I think that's proven. Like, I think guys have said that before.
Mm-hmm. Well, except Waddler.
Oh, Waddling.
He's our best friend.
I was about to name drop.
He is our best friend, and
but,
he wouldn't like us though, because he's we think he's little. We don't know if he swings this way.
The way he looks at you sometimes.
No, don't say that.
I'll come there a different day.
No, because I agree. I'm not even kidding. I'll be in math class. I know you guys can't see us, but I'll be in math class, and he'll walk up to me and he'll be like, "Yeah." And I literally have told him, "Don't look at me like that."
But I feel like there can be friendships that never go anywhere, and you know it's never gonna go anywhere. But there's that attraction, and like the man.
And okay,
feel it.
I'm also not a good person to talk about this because I'm one person. I live for the thrill. I make myself have mom lore. I make myself have friendship lore. If you need an interesting, juicy story, come to me because I have lore.
100%.
I've had a best friend who's my neighbor since I was like 10 years old. And for me personally, I don't think I've ever had feelings. Like, our families, we go to youth groups together. Everyone in our entire life has tried to get us together. I personally don't think I've ever had feelings. If I did, it was like forced, or like me trying to like see something's there.
Trying to get the friendship to lovers, kind of.
Yeah, he has liked me. We've told each other we've liked each other, but like again, like I don't know if I like
deep down.
Yeah, I don't think deep down I liked him, but he's told me he liked me, and like I try to like tell people like, oh, me and him are just strictly platonic. We're genuinely just best friends, but most of the time I don't know if he's in love with me or not.
Right.
And I can never use that example because we did have a fling.
Yeah.
So if I'm like trying to be like, no, true friendships can exist, but I'm like
the idea. I think you liked the idea of him, or like the idea because it would have been cute in your family.
I tell people like he is husband material. My best friend, I'm friends with that guy. He's husband material. He's such a gentleman. He's perfect. He's a perfect guy. Not for me.
And that's okay.
That's okay. And I do not like if you have a friend and someone's trying to be like, and they have a guy best friend, you're trying to be like, no, you have to like them, push them. Don't do that, because it's so annoying. If they're like, if those two people are like, we are genuinely just friends, leave it be. Don't try to push something.
It can ruin the friendship sometimes. Yeah. I just think it's so annoying.
Yeah. And I'm really, like I said, like I'm a bad example of this because I literally have had a fling with him. But right now, our relationship is strictly platonic. We do not like each other. We are really good friends. And there's times where we are really good friends and times where maybe, but most of the time, we're really good friends. Yeah. Okay. I got back into guys' insecurity. Do you think guys get insecure about what a girl can do? Do you think guys get insecure that girls are smarter than them? Do you think guys get insecure like if a girl like you're really good at your sport? Do you think guys look at her like
sports wise 100%?
You do think it?
But sometimes I think guys can be like jealous of how genuine girls are sometimes. Like I know girls' friendships can be like toxic and stuff, but I think they're like jealous of how we treat each other and like cuz do you ever see all the like, why do they come on, like, these girls' Instagrams, like, saying, like you're not even saying the truth and stuff. Like, I think that's just coming out of jealousy because men are so truthful to their face that they can get kind of, like, jealous of girls, like.
But, I mean, it can go both ways. I sit here and I'm jealous of guys' friendships sometimes because they don't fight. Too. There's no, like, they can, like, and also if they do fight, they can be friends the next day. Like, with girls, if you get into a friendship fight, you hold a grudge, you have to stop being friends. Like, there's no civilness. Girls do not know how to be civil.
No.
But, yeah, I think, like, if a girl was, like, going D1 for her sport, do you think a guy would sit there and be like, why does she get to go D1 and not me?
But they never show their jealousy. They just make excuses like like I could do it, like
or so many people are trying to go into football, like it's really like not my fault.
Yeah, like all those excuses, they'll never show it, but
yeah. Okay. Do guys get the upper hand in life and in high school, and what does that look like? Yes.
Yeah. Well, take a look, like, the most popular sport, football. Like, I know I enjoy watching football, but just that advantages in itself, like, how everything revolves around it.
Or, that's just what boys do.
Don't ever
say that to me,
I'll punch
you.
Even in, like, middle school, elementary, like, oh, he's just being a boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes you.
He likes you, that's why he's pushing you down and punching you in the face. It's because he likes you.
And saying mean things.
Like, in high school, or, like, a girl, like I said, like, I'm loud sometimes, and I do things that are, like, I shouldn't be doing, but it's like I get in trouble, but like a guy can do anything and they're just like he needs extra help
because it's not seen as girly, like which is so annoying because it's just should be just a thing, like.
But ultimately they do get the upper hand in life. If there is a girl who went to Harvard and a guy that went Michigan, U of M, both great schools, but they're both applying for the same job. The girl's a genius, the guy has like isn't a genius, but the girl genuinely has a genius IQ, the guy's still gonna get chosen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I don't, like, obviously that's terrible, but, like, I honestly, like, don't even blame them because that's how you're going to get the most customers. Like, well, yeah, they're going to, because that's how society goes. Yeah.
And I feel like it'd be so hard to even change it because it's just built in.
It's terrible and
who set that system up?
Exactly. But that's how it goes. Like, it's the horrible thing to do, but it's the smarter thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's going to listen to this when we're trying to get jobs and we're going to get canceled. Okay. We're on to how to better yourself. What are negative things that people do after a breakup and how to avoid that? Take time.
Posting about it?
Yeah. I think, okay, every relationship breakup you'll ever see, the girl at least, for the first week is like manic. Like she's either trying to get back together with him, won't stop talking about him, or jumping from guy to guy.
Been there.
No, we've all been there. Or jumping from guy to guy. If you are a girl and you just got out of a breakup,
best thing you can do.
Delete social media for a week or two. Take a step back. Don't immediately be trying to fix it. Take a step back, go take a bath, get a latte.
Don't make any big steps either. Like, it's gonna take time. Let it take time.
Yeah. Because you'll notice it all the time. Like our friend, who's a grade younger, she just went through a breakup, right?
Oh, yeah.
She went crazy.
Yeah.
And like
And it all comes back to you while you're trying to deal with your original breakup, while you're trying to deal with the 10 other guys that you just dealt with.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, anything
not gonna make your
anything
mind back.
that a guy does after a breakup, no one's gonna look out. All the eyes are on you. If you just got out of a relationship, everyone's looking at you to see how you'll react. So delete social media for a week. Don't be on your phone. Take time for a week and a half. Just a week and a half. Process it. Don't immediately go posting. Don't immediately go post a thirst trap. Take a bath.
Yeah.
Get a latte. Go on a hot girl walk. Like,
don't feel the need that you have to look 10 out of 10 every single day after the breakup. Like, just let yourself
breathe.
It wasn't like...
Yeah. Because that's another thing. Like, if you're immediately out of a breakup, either you hate them or you're like, that was the love of my life. Like, I need to get him back. Like, what just, like, why did we have to break up? In a week, you're going to be like, why did I even date that person? That person treated me terribly.
I think men are like the opposite. You have to let men be men at this, because when men break up with a girl, they can not talk to her for, like, weeks, months, who knows how long. But every time they realize, like, months later that, like, you were the love of your life, or, like, they miss you, because I feel like they never do it right after. When girls, it's more, like, right after trying to get them back.
Just off. Okay.
I have to be at the field at 3:15 though.
Okay. My hot girl does not have... I thought you didn't have to do soccer anymore. Guys don't miss a girl until a month after the breakup. A month or two. The first few weeks, they're not going to miss you. They're not going to care.
No.
Are you pulling something up?
I'm going to tell her that.
Oh.
How to take
I thought you were, like,
her home.
giving an example. Okay. Guys, either they'll miss you right away or they will not care until a month or two. And my mom told me that, and I totally agree.
Yeah.
They're not going to care. So anything you see them doing after, it's because they're not... Don't take it to heart. They're not thinking either. But in a month or two, they're going to be like, wow, I really miss that. I really miss her. But right now, they're not going to. And don't take it as an offense.
Yeah. They always try to come back when they see that you're doing good.
Yeah.
If you act like you still want them back, they know that you're still lingering and that you're still there, so they're not going to want
Yeah.
them back.
Okay. These ones are good questions. What is choosing yourself, and is it okay to be involved with someone when doing that? Like, if you were like, I'm in my choosing myself era, is it okay to get into a relationship, or do you think it should strictly blocking yourself off?
I think if you get into the relationship with the right person who lets you do that, it would be okay, but a lot of the times men are kind of insecure about that, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. Because, like I said, I've been single for over a year. Some of that time I've spent choosing myself, and let me tell you, when I was choosing myself, I didn't add anyone on Snapchat. Like, for good, like, especially when I first moved here, I didn't add a single guy on Snapchat. I don't know if you do that.
No, really?
I didn't add anyone that added me from this school besides, like people like that. People like, you know, like, I'd add him back, right? Because obviously, like, that's not going to be a thing. But, like, situation guy, waddler, like, I didn't add any of those people back because I was, like, I'm in my choosing myself. I'm in my hot single girl era. And I think that, like, if you're choosing yourself, there should be a period where you genuinely don't talk to guys. You literally choose yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't do that. But then there can also be, like, I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing to put myself out there.
And I think if you're choosing yourself, you know if it's the perfect guy, then I think you know.
When you know, you know.
Exactly.
Okay, this one's controversial. Do we care about mental health?
Like other people's?
Yeah.
Honestly?
No.
I think...
Like, if someone's struggling, help them, but, like, it's honestly nothing...
Everyone goes through it.
Yeah. And that we're not discarding anyone.
No. I will always help. I will always be there to talk and everything, but I think it's like...
There is... As teenagers, you cannot fix someone who is suicidal.
No.
Refer them to a therapist. It's only going to drag you down.
It should not be put on teenagers to fix it.
No.
And I think that's a problem, honestly, today.
Yeah. So, obviously, we care about mental health.
Just be nice to everyone, and that's all you can do, honestly.
Yeah.
Don't bully.
Don't bully. Don't talk about people. Be nice to other people. If you know someone is struggling, get them help. Don't be the help.
Yes. Because I think it puts way too much pressure on teens now.
And also, like, nothing someone else is saying is going to fix you. The only way you can fix your mental health is through God or, like, and literally working on yourself.
This might be controversial, but I feel like it's become a trend to have bad mental health. Like, I think it's, like, expected that teens should now.
Yeah. Like, last year, when I was getting bullied, obviously, I was in a bad mental health, but I was never, like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for you guys.
Oh, you're good.
No, sorry. Someone needed to grab their phone. Anyways.
Bro's listening. He was probably entertained, honestly.
Honestly, about what we're talking about right now, I think as someone with bad mental health, I never put it on anyone else. I knew that this was a battle within myself. Seek help if you need it, but, like, the only way you can fix mental health, change your mindset. Change what
The
you're
strongest
thinking.
person to do anything is yourself. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like other people will not be able to make you happy. It has to be you.
You have to learn self-love. You have to learn to not care about what other people think. You have to get, if you are stuck in a depressive hole, get a different outlook on life.
Yeah.
Change how
Read
you
the Bible.
think. Read the Bible. I would not have survived last year if I did not find Jesus.
Yes. That could be a whole different podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be a cute one.
I know, we should do that. That's what I'm talking about. I was listening to the other podcast about Jesus. Okay.
Both have different
How to
sides.
handle rejection. I don't know.
I'm still don't know.
Yeah. I get rejected all the time. I just live, laugh, love through it. I really
Honestly, I'm like, oh, well, they're insecure. Oh, that's not my fault.
Yeah, I think, again, the best thing you can do is give your life to Jesus, learn how to live a life through a Christian outlook, and that is how you handle rejection. Because the second I get rejected from a guy I like, I'm like, oh, well, Jesus died on the cross for me, I'm still worth to die for, and God has a plan for me.
That was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
I just think, like, if I get rejected, like, that's literally God, like, doing it for me. Because, like, what if that would have led to something way worse?
And that is another thing. If you have someone new in your life, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, if you are unsure about them, do the prayer. Be like, God, if this person is not for my life, if this is not a part of your plan, it's a terrifying prayer. Take them out. You will be amazed who gets taken out. It works every time. And then
sometimes you wonder why he's doing it, but all the time.
And that's why I think I honestly, as a person who gets rejected a lot, like I said, I think that's how I handle it so well, is because I'm like, I prayed that prayer, God did what he was supposed to, and that is it. I talk about this with you all the time. How long should a talking stage last? Because yours lasted like 6 months.
As the queen, I've had long talking stages. So my last one with my boyfriend that I have now, what was it, 6 months?
That's what I was thinking, like, from like November. No.
What's the one effect guy?
The Cole
We
effect.
talked on and off for like years, never turned into a relationship. So
I think it matters on the person. If you are with someone and you are,
I think I can handle it, but like some people,
I can't handle it.
I feel like you couldn't do 6 months.
No, I couldn't. I'd lose my bonkers. If you are going on it, also, I keep talking about this. Don't, as a relationship, as in high school, don't just text someone. No offense to you. Don't just be like texting someone, because you didn't do this at the start. Be like,
no,
we're going to hang out. So you literally go to their house and watch a movie and lay in the bed in the dark room with their LED lights. Don't do that. Make them take you out on dates. Make them pick you up and take you out to dinner. Learn to be with them.
You have to see how they act, like, in public.
In
public, everything.
Yeah, because like to me that's a talking stage. Is dates, and that's why I'm not in a lot of talking stages, because guys don't want to do that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Go on dates. Go after like 5 dates. If it's been like a month and a half, and you're like, wow, I really like this person, date them. You don't need to listen to society's rules that your talking stage needs to be 3 months. Do what you want to do.
Exactly. And I don't think the talking stage should be defined by like any kind of like distance. It's just
I hate
how it works.
that stupid 3-month rule. Don't listen to that stupid 3-month rule. If you like the person and they like you, date them.
Right. And like me and my boyfriend, it was a little different because we got to hang out once a week, and we were kind of both busy, so we didn't talk that much. So like we needed to hang out that many times, I feel like, to like both be comfortable. And we're both really shy people, so whenever we'd go, like, we went to like Top Golf.
Brings
and, like,
us back
bowling.
to, don't let other people tell you how to do your relationship. But I'm going to tell you how to do your relationship. When is it time to call it quits? I think if you have the gut feeling that you need to break up with someone, break up with them. We are teenagers. We are young. The person that you added on Snapchat isn't going to be your husband.
The moment that it starts affecting you negatively every single day, and like, and other people notice, I think.
Don't sit here. If someone sit here and tells me, and they're like, but he's my soulmate, like, he's the love of my life. No, he's not.
He makes you cry every day.
He makes you cry every day. He's a guy you met on Snapchat from a different school. His frontal lobe is not developed with him. Break up with him. Live your life. You're going to find your husband in college, and you're going to get married.
Yeah.
How to see red flags and not ignore them? Don't ask me.
I clearly can't see red flags sometimes.
Yeah. Do the hangman. Write their name on a piece of paper every time they do something bad. Erase a letter.
Hopefully they belong.
I have a list in my notes app called red flags, and I write down red flags about people. You have 3?
No, like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna probably do one more question, and then this is perfect. Is being delusional a bad thing? No.
If it doesn't get you into that much trouble, I think it's fine.
It's fun to live, laugh, love. If you are living in a constant world where you're constantly wrong and it's negatively affecting you, probably.
took everything as exactly how it was and wasn't delusional about it, I feel like I'd be less happy.
If you're genuinely to your core believing what you're saying, it's a bad thing. But if you know
No,
it's
you're
not
just
really
playing
real,
around.
you're just playing around. Like, if you're not taking it to heart, it's not a bad
Then
thing.
I think you're just like making the best of things. I think being delusional is just making the best of things, to be honest.
Because high school's boring. Sit in class and talk.
Make those
and,
fantasies
yeah,
real.
The guy that made eye contact with you literally 2 seconds
Yeah,
in the hallway,
he's
he
in
was
love with you.
probably thinking about another girl. He's in love with you. Let yourself believe it. Just when he's
Don't
not
act
actually
on it all the time.
Yeah, when he's actually not in love with you, don't cry about it, because literally just like learn how to live, laugh, love. And that's all I'm gonna say. But we have a lot more, but we're running out of time. So if we ever do another episode,
We should.
we probably should. Yeah. But thank you for
Live, laugh,
joining.
love.
Live, laugh. This is our advice.
Yeah.
Be your own person. Don't talk bad about people, and live, laugh, love.
Yep.
The best advice podcast.
Read your Bible.
Read your Bible. Give your life to the Lord, and that's
Amen.
That's all of our advice. Thank you for joining us again. This is Ivory Briggs and
Miley.
Harrington,
Harrington.
also from Stranger Things.